to Evolution Racing Network. Tonight we got the follow up to the ARCA Series, Thursday Night Thunder and the trucks here at Martinsville for 150 laps. Kind of excited about tonight. What are you thinking there, Craig, coming into this?
I think it's going to be a lot of patience. Fine braking zones, as we saw in the ARCA series. Guys, you know, not knowing when the person in front's necessarily braking. It's just going to be a patience game, either for the long haul. 150 laps can be a long one tonight. Pretty excited as right now we see Little to the top of the board.
Jeremy Little jumped to the top of the board with a 20.33. Bradley Wilson, who was just in that ARCA race previously, jumped to second place with a 20.38. So pretty tight field here so far.
Yeah, coming from the ARCA car into these trucks, it's going to be a quick adjustment period for these drivers that coming from the ARCA Series for tonight.
Yeah,
Absolutely, they just finished the ARCA race because of the amount of cautions that they ended up having, but the ARCA car drives so much different than the truck at this track. Just it seems like the truck is so much tighter with the stiffer springs in it, and you're gonna have to drive this car a lot differently than the ARCA car.
yeah, the people doing double duty tonight, they're in it for the long haul, I guess. You start racing around 7:45. It's going on 9:30 Eastern time right now. A lot of seat time here for the boys. A little bit of different adjustment. Track's still the same though. We're here at the paperclip. Um, as Little still holds the top spot, as Bradley Wilson in second. And right now we're getting ready to salute our troops for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back. Looks like while we were away, Gabriel Ellison was able to capitalize and take that top position in qualifying here as we're just now closing out qualifying. So let's talk about the grid here. Starting on the pole will be Gabriel Ellison in the number 27. Starting second will be Timothy Latham in the number 5. Starting third will be Jeremy Little in the number 3. Starting fourth will be Bradley Wilson in the number 4. And starting fifth will be James Morgan in the number 43.
Starting sixth on the grid is Alan Bird in the number 14 car. Clinton Sneed in the 49 will begin on seventh. Jonathan Peel will start eighth in the number 7 car. Joshua Abbey will start ninth. And Rodney Griffin will start 10th in the 97.
Starting number 11 on this field, Brandon Pearl in the number 0, double 0 car. Starting 12th, Garrett Delph in the number 13. James, Brent, Lan Lacey in the 13th. Sorry about that. In the number 12. Starting 14th, Mitchell Ellison in the number 55, and then starting shotgun in 15th, it's Forrest Olin, the number 15.
Still waiting, green, grid them up here. Waiting for the lights to come on the pace car. Everybody's getting gridded in here. Uh, let's talk about tonight's race info. You got that in front of you there, Trevor?
Yes, I do. We are here at the Paperclip at Martinsville for 150 laps. These guys are going to have four total sets of tires. Track temp is about 67 degrees. The weather's 65, 54% humidity, partly cloudy. Wind is 2 miles an hour, so not much of a factor here. But we're at Martinsville for half a mile track. It's going to be an interesting one.
Field's rolling off. You mentioned the temp out there, 66 degrees. Pretty cool track. A lot of grip out there tonight. They're gonna dealing with a tight truck. So I'm excited to see what happens for these guys. Only 15 cars in the field. Hopefully we'll see a green flag run here. Pretty excited.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting race. Like we talked about earlier, I think the balance of these trucks is going to be different than the ARCA cars, with as much travel on the brakes to the front end and being able to get that drive off. It always seems like these trucks the rear end grip just seems a little bit better at Martinsville.
For sure, the trucks, they push a lot more. The front end seems to have a lot more grip as well, and I'm gonna be watching that wall on the outside, and I think we're gonna see a lot of sponsor logos, end up on that wall, like Craig was saying earlier.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and like we talked about earlier, it's going to be outside line and outside line. I'm curious to see if anybody's going to be able to pull that outside line run as we saw in the ARCA series. There, is we're coming to green now.
Yes, we are, and they're gonna take the green flag. It looks like big push from the 51 of Bradley Wilson to number 5 of Timothy Latham, and we have a spinner. Ooh. Hard hit for 51, I believe that was. No caution, though. We're going to stay rolling here.
Like we're going to stay on the green. Looks like everybody's able to get it back, gather back up and back under power here.
Battle for the lead right now. Ellison down low, Latham up high. I can't believe that wasn't a caution. They kept it rolling. Very impressive with these guys.
Yeah, and looks like Ellison's going to get the run here on the bottom. Let's see how well the number 5 is able to hold him off on the outside. As 43 of Morgan is just sitting waiting an opportunity. The 5 gets loose, and that will bring out the caution.
Man, he just looks like he got into the corner a little hot, slammed on the brakes maybe, and it just turned that car sideways quickly.
See if we can get a look at it here on the replay. Could tell maybe just a little off. Yeah, looked like he got a little loose coming down the backstretch there, and just they're so hard to correct when it gets that, as we call the wobble, death wobble in the truck there. It's so hard, and especially with the braking zone coming up.
Now, unlike the ARCA cars, these guys have no fast repairs, so he's going to go down pit road, and he's going to try and see what damage he can get fixed. But, I mean, that's a tough break for Latham.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a couple more takers down pit road. I'm wondering if they had a little damage from that earlier incident. They're going to come down and now's the time to try to get it repaired early. A lot of times you can chip away a little bit here, a little bit there, depending on how many cautions come out over the night, and you can get your truck back in good condition.
For sure, and we see 27 of Gabriel Ellison. He's currently our points leader in the Thursday night Throwdown truck series, but he's only got I believe a 3-point lead over Timothy Latham. So it'll be interesting to see if those two end up being 1-2 like they were, if Latham can make it all the way back up here to the front.
Yeah, they actually swapped positions at the conclusion of last week's race. The 3 point deficit is how tight it is up towards the top, and third place is Landon Lacey's only 12 points back. So your top five are actually separated by 27 points right now.
Really not a tight, I mean, not a very loose spread when you think about it, because each position is a point. So if one person misses a race and they are effectively last for that race, then that gap can close in a hurry as the lights are out on the pace car. We are one to go.
Yeah, the 27 will be leading them up as they're double stacking there. Everybody will get lined up here, get ready for this restart. I'm expecting, kind of what we talked about earlier in the ARCA race. Probably expect them to get single file as quick as they can, for a long, get a long green flag run here. And the 27 of Gabriel Ellison's going to bring them around 3 and 4 here. He's going to have the advantage here because he'll control the start, and he gets a good jump there.
Big jump as the green flag flies, and Ellison's comfortably out front. 49 gets a little tight. Clinton Sneed there scooting up the track a little bit.
Looks like we got a battle for second going on now between James Morgan and Clinton Sneed there. At the 43 of James Morgan's going to get a little run on the outside here. I don't know how well that's going to transition into corner 1 and 2, in turns 1 and 2 here. He's able to hold that outside momentum coming off.
Look at Ellison, man, pulling out a little bit of a gap here, about 7-8 tenths maybe. I believe when we talked to him last week in his interview, he said he was really looking forward to this race and was pretty good at it, and we're seeing that right now. But I wonder if he's burning his tires up at all.
And they've got an extra 3 sets tonight, so pitch strategy may come into play. We kind of saw that last week. Some late chargers, playing a little bit on that tire strategy. Is you see a gap first and second, got a pretty good gap right now. Closest battle right now looks like it's going to be for that third position as the second caution comes out.
I believe that was the 49 of Clinton Sneed, just getting a little too much on the entry and sent the car around there. We'll see if we can catch it on the replay. Oh, get some help from 25 of Landon Lacey, I believe. That was just got a little tight there and kind of pushed his rear end around. So that's unfortunate for Clinton Sneed.
Yeah, and this is one thing we talked about earlier in the race is the braking points. Is this early green tires, where you're braking, where everybody else is braking. And if you don't get that truck checked up enough, especially on the inside line, the center of the corner where you want to be rolling, that truck, just the weight transfer wants to push that truck out just a little bit in the very center of the corner.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. I think we're gonna see some more green flag runs in this truck race. These guys have been pretty good about cautions in their first 4 races here. So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep that low caution streak going with here at the Paperclip at Martinsville.
Well, as you know, Martinsville, your nerves, coming into this race are a little bit on edge, and as you get further along in the race, you kind of get settled in. You want to get that green flag run. You want to get settled in a groove, and then you want to base your strategy depending on how the night's going from there. When you plan on getting your tires, um, and always the hardest decision here is you want track position.
Definitely, and we saw that in the ARCA race previously, that both the first and second place finishers did not pit the entire race, so they went 100 and I believe it was 110 laps maybe on one set of tires, which that's a pretty big deal in an ARCA car. But in the truck, I believe they're not going to be fighting the rear end being loose. They're going to be fighting the rear end being wanting to push more, and the front end just getting tight, washing up the track. And that's ultimately what brought out this caution here. Just a little too much tight, a little too tight on the inside car there.
Yeah, as we see the lights are off on the pace car, so Gabriel Ellison will be lining them up double file here, coming through 3 and 4. He'll start them off corner 3 and 4 here. He'll have the advantage on the inside, and he controls the start. And here we go with start of lap number 16 here in the Truck Series, and he gets a great jump inside row, second place. Looks like the 25 of Landon Lacey is going to make that move and try to secure the second spot. As now the battles for third and back.
Yeah, it looks like 43 of James Morgan had just a little bit of a tough time getting the truck going there. I don't know if he started in the wrong gear or was just anticipating wheel spin, but he did not get going, and that opened the door for Landon Lacey. As we see a car, looks like I couldn't catch who it was, but someone was sideways going into turn one there.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if the 43 this early in the run is checking to see how that outside line is. So if he needs it a little later in the run, because we've still got 132, 133 laps left. He may need that lane later in the run. He wants to see how it feels now and how it's going to stack up to the inside line.
That's very true. He could just be trying out different lines and seeing what works and what doesn't. But we saw earlier the 27 of Gabe Ellison break away a little bit, but now Landon Lacey looks like he's got the pace to keep up with him. I don't know if Ellison is trying to save a little bit maybe, or if Landon just kind of found something and is trying to figure it out now.
Yeah, you never know. Lacey might have had a little trouble, in the qualifying. You get just touch one little incident point, touch the grass, and that disqualifies that lap, or you just barely touch the wall. It's happened to all of us. You practice all week, you practice for qualifying all week, you run really great qualifying times, and then when it comes to that one chance to lay down that qual lap, anything can happen. As you see him, Landon Lacey's now taking the lead, and he's looking probably to try to stretch out the lead as much as he can here.
Absolutely. And if I mean, they've got 4 total sets of tires. So I don't know, if I'm looking at it, I would say I'd pit at lap 50. That's my number in my head, because I'm not worried about fuel. I can pretty much make the whole race on fuel. I'm just worried about my tires. So if I go burn them up right now, we're 22 laps into this thing. I mean, 50 is not that far, not that much time here at the paperclip.
And it looks like the majority of the field is now single file. Everyone's trying to get in their groove, their race pace here. Get to that point where everything feels natural going into the corner. Your braking point, and when you're bunched up like that, as we mentioned before, it makes it harder because you've got to adjust to the truck in front of you, and then that accordion effect travels on as we see the 25 starting to build a little bit of a gap, a 0.3 of a second lead here, and that's going to bring up, long green flag run. If you start catching lap traffic, that's going to take a huge effect on your top position here, is how well you can get in time and get through those lap cars.
Definitely, lap traffic is a huge deal here, but I want to point out that Landon Lacey is up 12 positions. He's our biggest mover so far in this race. He started, I want to say, in the 13th spot, and he's now sitting in first. So, if there's anybody that can work their way through traffic, it seems like he's the one to do it.
Yeah, it seems like he capitalized on that early caution there, and he got that track position. And we talked about in the ARCA races how much effect the clean air is going to have on these trucks here. He's going to be the one controlling the pace of the race right now, and his gap, he's still building a little bit bigger of a gap to almost a full second ahead right now. Like you said, I wonder is the tire wear, how is that going to affect him over the long run compared to other guys? If there's anybody sitting, a couple positions back, just trying to average their lap times, trying to make their tires last that little bit longer.
Definitely. And one person that seems like they are not doing that is Timothy Latham, as he is up to the 5th position now. We saw him earlier on about lap 2, I think, have an issue going into one of the corners. So he's making his way back up there slowly but surely.
Yeah, and that's the thing with here at Martinsville is, you're gonna have to make your way slowly but surely. And as you get caught up with that guy in front of you, if you're just a little bit faster, you're gonna have to ride behind him a couple laps and find that place that you're that just that tenth, faster, that whether it be drive off where you can get on him in the inside and get that position, or just wait for them to make a mistake and you're gonna have to be there to capitalize on it.
Definitely. We saw 51 of Gabriel Ellis, or excuse me, Bradley Wilson getting little heavy on the brakes there. He almost got into the 5 of Timothy Latham, but uh, back up front, our Landon Lacey has stretched out to just about 1.2-second lead over Gabriel Ellison. But I I don't know, the speed that I saw in Gabriel Ellison, I believe he's saving something for later on.
Yeah, and the other issue we talk about pit strategy. As we see another caution come out, I was going to say, it's if you pit now and the caution comes out, at lap 40, lap 50, that can completely change the momentum of the race. As we're going to try to take a look back here and see what brought this yellow out here.
Looks like we're looking at the 0.5 maybe. Oh man, just gets a little too much gas coming off the corner, too many beans, and loops it around, and you might have some heavy motor damage from that hard hit to the inside wall.
And that's so easy here with that transition. You want to lay down that power as quick as you can, but too fast on that transition from concrete to asphalt. That rear end can come around so easily because that weight transfer from the front of the truck to the back, and you know tires tire wear is going to affect that as well as the run goes on, as to that point where you're going to be able to push that truck because you're going to be sliding a little bit further up towards the wall.
Definitely, and we saw just about everybody in the top couple cars come down pit road except for Forrest Bullen, I believe, is the only one that stayed out. So interesting strategies here, and I it's a lot different than the ARCA race that we saw before, where people were fighting for track position. This one seems like these guys were no brainer to take tires here on lap 34.
Yeah, Forrest Bullen's gonna try that. I believe he's gonna go for the position. Here, track position, and maybe he's got a strategy at hand. He's got a set determined, you know, a lap that he wants to pit on, and he wants to stick to that strategy. We've all done it as drivers. It's the greatest debate. Caution comes out before you are ready to go in the pits. What do? You want to gamble if you're kind of running towards the back to trying to change the strategy up a little bit, get you in a little better position in case another yellow comes out. Then you'll be able to go in and capitalize with those fresher tires.
You talk about strategy, and there's a lot of it going on right now. It seems like, as the top 3, Forrest Bullen, Clinton Sneed, and Rodney Griffin, have all stayed out, but the 5 of Timothy Latham came into the pits, but he only had a 9-second pit stop. So I believe he only took fuel on that stop there.
Maybe a fuel only stop there. I'm not sure to look back if he earlier. It doesn't look like he's got a whole lot of that damage repaired yet. He might be saving that for later on, and I'm not sure if he had already taken a set or, But like we said, those fast repairs, they don't have any here.
Not at all. And we are green, and Timothy Latham looks inside, gets a little bit of the bumper of our leader Forrest Bullen there. But man, that's always moving to the inside, and he's going to try to make a pass for the lead here going into 3.
Yeah, he's gonna clear him in 3. Looks like Forrest tried to come down and just try to close that door on him, but it was too much of a run. The 5 had a huge run coming to the inside, as he's kind of working the middle to the outside of the track there, coming through 1 and 2 that time by. I'm curious to see if the lines will change, whether someone will take that wide entry to get that good run off, especially single file. Is the battle is back from third on back now, as Timothy Latham is starting to put a little gap here, as the 27 of Gabriel Ellison has worked his way back up to second.
Yeah, and we kind of saw in the back, oh, might have a big wreck. I believe I saw a couple cars spinning, but looks like we're still green. Oh, there's the caution. There we go.
Yeah, the 27 Gabriel Ellison and Landon Lacey were able to move their way back up through the field pretty quick there for after a couple laps here. See, take a look at that replay.
Looks like, oh man, just tried to get 3 wide going into that turn, and
Oh, 13 got a little loose on the inside there, and it just shot him, darted him straight up towards the wall there. Uh, while we're still on the yellow here, let's take a quick break for a commercial. We'll be right back.
Let's face it, to build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have two options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Sneed Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
Welcome back. So we're still under caution here. Let's see when the pace car takes one to go. Should be this time or next time by. Is everybody still working through the pits here?
yeah, and Timothy Latham, we saw him take the lead there before that caution. He doesn't have 4 fresh tires. I know that. He's either got 2 or none. So I'm going to be interested to see if Ellison and Lacey, or how long it takes for them to pass them, I guess, because there's a huge difference here at the paperclip on new versus old tires.
Yeah, they seemed like they were able to feed back through the field and get back up towards the front pretty quick there on that last restart. So I think that tire difference is going to make a huge go here. But if you're the 5 of Latham, even if he falls back to third position, he was sitting without tires going in the pits. He still improved his track position from before that caution coming out. So, you know, like we said earlier, curious to see, when these guys are going to pit, because track position is key, and as a leader, you want to stay out as long as you can.
Definitely, but man, if you're Latham right now, you're just hoping for a lot of cautions like we had in the ARCA race, because in my mind, there's no way that he's going to stick up and be able to stick the track like the other cars behind him, because there's just, once you get those tires heat cycled like that, and the other guys only have a couple laps on their tires, there's not much you can do to change that difference.
And talk about trucks up positions. Brandon Pearl is up to the 4th spot already, so he's climbed 7 positions since the start here. As we're getting ready to go back green here, coming through 3 and 4.
Yep, his car dipped off, and Timothy Latham gets a good jump over
Double Zero
Gabriel
gets
Ellison.
loose on the outside there on the restart. 51 moved to the bottom there because the momentum just wasn't there. See if we can get it all gathered back up as we do, and the 51 is going to be able to capitalize and take over that 4th position.
Yeah, pretty much single filed out throughout the whole field, it looks like, and another caution's going to fly.
I didn't catch a peek of that. See if we can find that and see where that cause that caution to come out.
It's like 4 trucks were all battling. Oh, man. I believe that was the number 3 of Jeremy Little just slammed on the brakes maybe and had a little too much rear brake bias in it, and locked up the rears and sent the truck around and collected a couple trucks with him.
Yeah, it looks like he just came down a little bit, collected the 7, which shot the 7 up into, I believe that was the 55 on the outside lane. As we were talking about, braking points and just carrying a little bit too much speed in that corner and locking those brakes up very easily at a track like this with that forward momentum, you're trying to get that truck, you know, to slow down as quick as possible.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder if he just kind of missed his breaking point there, and he saw the car in front of him was checking up, and he knew he wasn't gonna make it into the corner, so he didn't want to hit the car in front of him and slammed on the brakes and got himself sideways there.
Yeah, and we talked about it. You get that green flag run, you get in that groove, and then all of a sudden you're facing a restart again, and you've mentally got to be able to reset yourself and you know get back to, okay, I'm restarting now. I've got to figure out you know where I'm at, and where my breaking points are, because we're talking about another heat cycle on tires again.
For sure. And I tell you what, this is what Latham loves to see, because it's the more laps that he can, or the more laps that he can do under caution, and the more quick restarts we get like that, the more that all the cars behind him are going to have heat in their tires, and then pretty soon they'll equalize out, and he won't be at such a disadvantage anymore.
Yeah, that the tire disadvantage will eventually counterbalance itself, and especially with these heat cycles, will help balance it out. And he might not be pushing his truck as hard as the guys are behind him right now, and if he's able to keep getting that gap on the restart, and able to keep from spinning his tires, this might play it pretty well for him.
For sure. And I'm interested. We saw you kind of mentioned it briefly on that last restart. Brandon Pearl in the double zero he's now up 5 spots from where he started, but he was the winner of our ARCA race a couple minutes ago. So I wonder if that experience that he got from that race will be able to carry over into this truck race here.
It looks like the lights are off on the pace car. So we double file in the back up for restart again here. See what kind of jump he can get this time.
Yeah, the pace car is going to dip off, and we're going to send him into 3 and 4 and see if Latham can get a jump on Ellison here.
Latham does get a good jump, clears to the front, coming into one. Looks like the battle's for third.
Yeah, we saw 25 of Landon Lacey have a lot of wheel spin there, and that's just, I mean, even new tires, you can get that in these trucks, as the 51 is all over 25's back bumper there.
Yeah, it seems like the 51's just able to carry a little bit more speed coming down to the corner. And unfortunately, with that, you're going to see a little bit of a Corrigan effect as one backs up. The trucks behind them are going to start backing up, as well as, Latham is able to hold out to the front here. I haven't seen Ellison really gaining a whole lot here on this restart so far.
No, and I mean, if you're Latham right now, you're just protecting that bottom line, trying not to let the truck drift up the track at all, because that's one, burning your tires up, and two, opening the door for those trucks behind you that have that fresh rubber. So he's doing very well right now on all tires.
Yeah, and if you get it slid up the track here, that it's just a freight train. If you've got cars or trucks back to back behind you, once that door opens, everybody's going to try to squeeze that door as quick as they can while that door is open.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see 27, I believe, of Ellison is thinking about it about every lap. He's getting a good run, as we see the 25 of Landon Lacey move to the inside.
Yeah, it looks like the 25 is going to try to take that second position away of Gabriel Ellison, but looks like Ellison's going to be able to he's going to be able to get that run on the outside there coming off the corner.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody's pretty much single filed out throughout this field, so no top line coming in yet, but I'm curious to see if later on in the run they'll be able to use that, make a couple passes later on.
Appears Gabriel Ellison is able to shadow Timothy Latham right now, going in every corner. He's closing the gap a little bit. I wonder if he's just buying his time right now, trying to save a little bit of tire for later in the run, knowing that the 5 he's got a pit later on.
I think you're absolutely right. I think he knows that there's no way that Timothy is making it all the way on this set of tires. So why burn him up and try and get ahead of him when everybody else is going to stack up behind you? Just ride behind him, save your tires for a little bit, and see where this thing goes.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a battle brewing. Looks like for the 8th and 9th position here, the closest running as of a lap or so ago between Clinton Snead and Rodney Griffin here. But looks like they're starting to catch on onto the 7th place truck. I'm sorry, for battle for 7th and 8th there. Looks like they're starting to catch up with Brandon Pearl just a little bit here.
Yeah, Brandon Pearl falling off a little bit there. He's got kind of a bigger gap to James Morgan in the 43 ahead of him, but still, I mean, he could be saving them tires and trying to wait till a little bit later on in the run to get all he wants out of them.
Looking back up front, Timothy Latham, Gabriel Ellison, and Landon Lacey have closed all up together here. As the 51 of Bradley Wilson was closing in and got a little loose last time by, but he's able to gather it back up, and it's like he's closing back in again. I'm curious to see how long, the 27 of Gabriel Ellison and the 25 of Landon Lacey, they seem to be battling pretty hard there for the second position, seeing who can get that run on the outside.
Yeah, I think seems like to me Landon is getting a little impatient there. He's looking at just about every angle he can to get to the inside or outside of the 27 of Gabriel Ellison. But Ellison is just trying to hold his line and maybe block a little bit, but keep that 5 car in front of him and not use up his tires just yet.
Well, now's the time to see what's out there. If I'm Landon Lacey, running this close together, I want to see where maybe I can get a good run off, or what's not working, so I know later on in the run, if it comes down to a couple lap shootout, where I'm not going to be able to rely on going to try to make up that gap or to make that move. Is the 5 and the 27 looks like the 27's closing in a little bit more lap after lap after lap.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I've run a lot of races here. And if I'm at this stage in the race and I feel confident in my car, I am trying every single line that I can get the truck to stick on, and trying to figure out what's going to work when I'm coming to 1 or 2 to go, and got to make that pass for the lead. As we see the 13 of, I believe, Garrett Delph is about to get lapped here by Timothy Latham.
And this will come down to the leader as to how easily he's able to get by. As there's a little contact there between the 5 and the 13. If he'll be able to clear him here, 27 is going to try to follow through. Oh, and the 13 got into the back of the 5 there. That will bring out the caution.
That's a rough one there. That 13 looks like it was pinching pretty hard for racing the leaders there, and just kind of got some door contact there, and then here coming into turn 3, just missed his braking point, I guess, and slammed into the back of Timothy Latham.
Yeah, Martinsville, will kind of bring out some frustrations at times, and I'm not sure, exactly what happened there. But that's the hard part with tracks like this is lap traffic. It's if you can, it's all on the leader. Is how easily the leader can get by him, as we talked about earlier. Is what point does the leader get to him? If you want to kind of use that car to get maybe a little bit more gap between you and second, and not allow that second place truck to use that lap car as a pit, to get by you.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
still under caution here. Looks like we got some takers here for pit road. Maybe get some tires, maybe get some a little bit of damage fixed. Get prepared for. Looks like we're almost halfway through this race here, Trevor. And the 27 of Gabriel Ellison is gonna be back out front with Clinton Sneed showing in second place now in the number 49.
Yeah, Clinton Sneed is up 5 positions from where he started, and so is actually Forrest Bullen is up 12 positions. So um, switching things up a little bit up front here. I believe that Gabriel Ellison has been saving his tires a little bit because he was just riding behind that 5 car of Timothy Latham, and now he's got a clean air and not much else that can go wrong for him besides some wheel spin on this restart.
Well, Forrest Bullen was, I believe, leading us to the last green restart there on the older tires there, and looks like he's able to keep it here in third. And as pace car is coming off, and Gabriel Ellison will be leading him around turns 3 and 4, coming to take the green flag here, and he will have the advantage on the inside here.
Big jump, and looks like Forrest Bullen's going to be able to capitalize and get to the inside of Clinton Sneed, but Clinton's going to get a big run into the middle of the corner. Man, he sent that thing in there.
Yeah, and that's a hard move to pull, especially getting out of that concrete line there up into that asphalt, getting that turn back in. That's going to allow Gabriel Ellison to just get a little bit of jump as they're racing double wide behind him. And as a leader, that's what you want to see. You want to see those guys battling behind you because it allows you to set your pace and hopefully just pull away. And every tenth of a second you can get away is a tenth that they're going to have to make up.
Yeah, definitely. And we see the 51, I believe, get, a little loose into the corner, and that's going to bring out our caution.
Let's go back and see what happened there with the 51. I believe it's like you said. I think he got a little too loose there coming into the corner. And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier is, that point of, going under green flag run, coming in, and then going back to caution and a restart on older tires.
Yep, and we see our leader, Gabriel Ellison, coming down the pit road. It looks like he's just about the only one out of the top 5 there that went in. So interesting strategies here for sure, and Latham is also in.
Yeah, I see Timothy Latham has come in. He might try to get a little bit of that damage fixed on the rear or the right side of the truck there. That's going to move Clinton Sneed up to lead position here with Forrest Bullen still hanging in there in second place.
Man, Forrest has had a heck of a run so far. He's up 13 spots now, and he's, like you said earlier, he had a good restart on older tires, and now him and Clinton are both on the same lap tires, I believe. They both pitted on lap 41. So it's, I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see because I want to say the 25 of Landon Lacey and James Morgan in the 43 are also on the same lap tires, but they are on about 30 lap newer tires than our front row.
Yeah, I'm showing them last pitted around lap 69, lap 70 for James Morgan and Landon Lacey, and the same thing for Brandon Pearl, Brad Wilson, and Gabriel Ellison. Now will be restarting in 8th with Alan Bird in the 14 and Timothy Latham, all on newer tires. So I'm curious to see, we got 3 different groups of trucks here with different tire wear on them to see how this is going to transpire, over the next, say, 15, 20, 25 laps is how far, the older tires are going to fall off compared to the newer ones. And I'm sure a lot of these guys are looking at that as well as to how much tire fall off is because, they're going, when they go in and change the tires, they're looking at their tire wear and determining, okay, how hard did I push the truck? Where are my tires at after so many laps, and how hard can I push it more this time, or do I need to be a little less aggressive on the tires on this cycle?
Yeah, that's very true. So I think that's exactly what Gabriel Ellison was doing. He was just kind of going in saying, hey, we got plenty of laps to go. I'm not really worried. I'm going to go in, take my tires, and see what I need to do later to make sure that I'm up front. But I don't see him having too much trouble driving up through this field, honestly.
Yeah, as we're double stacked now, and the lights are off on the pace car. Clinton Snead's going to lead them down with that inside line, with Forrest Bullen on the outside here. See how the restart turns out for Clinton Snead here as he's bringing them around 3 and 4. And
Big jump by Clinton Snead, and Forrest Bullen's able to stick that outside a little bit. Oh man, the door opened up for 43 at James Morgan, and he's going to move to the inside as Forrest gets into the wall. That's not what you want to see there.
yeah, it's this one thing that's hard with this track. You get into that wall, it's hard to get it off without yanking the truck around. You know, you're going to lose a lot of speed. You're going to lose a lot of position there. But he was able to keep it against the wall, and you know he'll have to rebound here. But you know he was able to keep it from causing any contact with anybody else.
Yeah, definitely. Good job by him for not doing that. As we see the 25 try to open the door on James Morgan for that second position there. He's going to get to the inside, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to clear him. Looks like James is still going to get the run off.
Yeah, these trucks are, you know, kind of the middle cycle on tires. They only got about 6 or 7 green flag laps on them. So, you know, compared to the leader, I'm curious to see as the 25 is going to be able to take that second spot away, and now he's going to be hunting down Clinton Snead there as the 43 gets into the wall a little bit. Looks like the truck, as you were mentioning earlier, is getting a little tight on off the corner.
Yeah, once you get them front tires, once you get heat in them, it's tough to keep that thing off the wall. Just with this fixed setup, everybody's on the same setup, so you know that everybody else is fighting the same problem that you are, but it's just about taking advantage of it as the 25 moves to the inside of our leader, Clinton Snead.
Yeah, the difference in the times that time were just too great. You know, I think Clinton probably knew it was coming. You know, just let me just try to hold on to what I got. Maybe I can, you know, rebound on some older tires. You know, hopefully all these, you know, all the other guys burn them up a little bit, and I'm able to save a little bit. You know, then it's going to come down to that, you know, late pit strategy. When is he going to come in? You know, all that cycle it could change the field up completely, flip it. So it's going to be interesting. These, you know, closing 65 laps as we see. Looks like is that the 00 get a little loose there coming into 1 and 2.
Yes, it is. He got really loose coming out of the corner there, but we see James Morgan move to the inside of Clinton Snead for that second position, and he's going to clear him. But don't look now. Our previous leader, Gabriel Ellison, is already up to 4th position.
Yeah, and I see Brandon Pearl back there around the 6th spot. He's able to gather back up that 00, you know, from getting loose a couple laps ago. Maybe he can get that forward momentum going again here. He's just got to get himself, you know, back in that groove. It kind of shakes you a little bit when you get it loose like that.
Clinton Snead just did the exact same thing, got a little loose out of 2, and that let Gabriel Ellison move into that 3rd position on the outside.
And that's the tougher thing when you're running older tires, and you know, and you've got these newer tires around you. You're listening to their trucks. You hear them when they get in the gas, and you're wanting to get in the gas at the same point. But when you got older tires, you just got to let them go, and that's the hard part as a driver is knowing your strategy, knowing what you want to do, and just letting guys go. Knowing, you know, hopefully your strategy works. You'll be able to get back by them later. You know, still looking right now, Brandon Pearl, he's got the number 5 with Timothy Latham closing in on him now, back for the, you know, that 6th position here. So things are going to be shuffling around here in the next 20-25 laps.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's going to be a tight race, but I would be, I don't know, if I'm like Clinton Snead right now, yes, I want new tires, but when I pit here at Martinsville with a 35 mile per hour pace pit speed limit, I'm gonna lose at least 1 lap, maybe 2. So I'm gonna probably end up waiting as long as I can, as we see 51, Bradley Wilson moving to the inside, trying to make that pass.
Yeah, as you see right now, Landon Lacey is stretching out a little bit over a second gap here. Gabriel Ellison running second at 27. James Morgan and the 43 are kind of close together. But right now, Landon is able to lay down a little bit faster, lap times, by maybe a tenth a lap right now. I'm curious to see how long he's going to be able to hold that time difference, or you're going to start maybe seeing back up a little bit depending on tire wear.
I think he could be just feeling that out like we saw earlier. Maybe just pushing it a good amount to see what he can get away with and what his tires are going to be like, because he could be just banking on another caution coming out and waiting for something else to happen. But I think if you're Gabriel Ellison, you're trying to save your tires and play this thing for the long haul, because you can make it on fuel. You just are worried about your tires at this point.
Yeah, and as we hit on it every once in a while. Sometimes a track just suits a certain driver's style to a certain way. It's maybe their throttle response, maybe it's the way they brake, maybe it's the approach in the corner. But some tracks just suit some drivers better than others, and you might get lucky and come out here and just find a line that works, and it works for you and only you, and there's no reason, there's no way to explain it. As you see, Landon Lacey is going to be closing up here on the lap truck, the number 55.
Yeah, lap traffic here at Martinsville is always a huge factor. We saw earlier the number 13 of Garrett Delft and the previous leader, Timothy Latham, got into it. So lap traffic can help or hurt you a heck of a lot here at the paperclip.
It looks like the 55 is going to just move up out of the way and let the leaders go by. Looks like Lacey's just going to be able to maintain that consistent gap here.
Yeah, he's pretty comfortably out front, just at about a second over Gabriel Ellison. But I would not be surprised if it was these two battling for the lead at lap 149 or 148.
Looks like we still got a good battle going on back here for the sixth position between Brandon Pearl and Timothy Latham. It looks like they're taking different runs coming in the corner. It looks like Brandon Pearl's able to gap him a little bit on entry, except now this time by, Latham's able to get that run mid-corner as you see the 00. Brandon Pearl get a little loose there coming off. You'll see the different change here. I think that's going to be one of the key factors here, is your ability to get the truck slowed down and be able to roll that corner at this track and keep the balance of the truck kind of neutral. Trevor, what do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I've been watching Bradley Wilson in the 51. He just passed James Morgan for that third position, but it seemed like James was just getting a little too tight for his liking and having to check up way more than he wanted to, going into the middle of the corner. And Bradley seems like he's just on a roll, and the truck is feeling good despite that damage that he has on the front end there.
Well, we're 2/3 of the way in now. We're 100 lap coming to lap 104. What are you thinking as far as pitch? Do you think these guys are going to try to ride these tires out, and hopefully be able to hold on to lap 150, or do you anticipate any stops here?
I think if we get a caution, everybody's going to come in, just because if you're this close to the end, especially Gabriel Ellison, he's already made it up to second place. Why not take tires and just be prepared for the ending? But if we stay green flag, I don't know that you'll see many pit stops here. Maybe people like Clinton Sneed, who stayed out for a couple more laps. I believe he's pitted on lap 41 last. So if you're someone like that who's on really old tires, then yes, it's a very good possibility that they'll come to pits at some point in this green flag run. But otherwise, I don't think so.
Yeah, and we talk about 45 laps. 45 laps seems like a long time, and it is a mile and a half, 2 mile tracks. But here at Martinsville, you're talking 21-second laps, and those laps are just clicking off. Next thing you know, you look down, you're 10 laps further in the run than you were the last time you looked, and right now is Landon Lacey. He knows every lap that's going by. I'm pretty sure he knows. Okay, I just crossed for lap 108. I've got 43 more to go. And as Gabriel Ellison, you're counting them down, going, okay, I got 43 laps to make that move. And as we see caution come out.
Yeah, we just saw a glimpse of the 43 of, I believe it was James Morgan, just got a little too many beans coming out of that corner and sent himself around. So I would be surprised if everybody didn't come in to the pits this time for 4 fresh Goodyears.
Yeah, we're going back to the replay right now and taking a look, and yeah, he just spins it coming off, and just gets that inside wall. It's going to have some front end damage there. Just hoping maybe he doesn't have any damage to the radiator, because that overheating will definitely get you here. So we see if he might get a little repairs, and hopefully he can continue with that number 43.
And here we go. Landon Lacey is the only one that stayed out, along with Timothy Latham. But everybody else came into the pits, it looks like. So that, that might just have sealed the fate for Landon Lacey unless we get another caution quickly here. But that's tough. As the leader, you're kind of just a sitting duck, and whatever you do, everybody else is going to do the opposite. So
It looks like he is gonna be cycling down the pit road this time by. He looks like he changed his mind here. He's gonna come in for 4 fresh, feel good years. So that's what you say. It's a gamble. It's the hard part as a leader. Somebody, at least one person's gonna do something opposite than you. And if you go, everybody else stays out. If you stay out, everybody else goes, and you're a sitting duck. That's the hard part of the leader, especially inside 40 to go at a track like Martinsville, where that track position is key.
definitely, and I don't think he made the wrong decision there at all. I think the fact that everybody else pitted, and he knew that there was no chance that he was going to be able to make up that time on old tires with about 40 to go. I think that was the right call there.
Yeah, now we're going to see Timothy Latham back to the point here. He last pitted, I'm showing on lap 75. So with that amount of tire wear, me as a driver, we're going to be worried about, tire spin. However, with him being the leader, he is going to control that point of the restart. So it may not affect him too bad, as long as he can maintain that, that preferred line going into turn 1. It's a gamble. I mean, it's got some damage there on the truck, but like we talked about earlier, this track is one that damage is not going to hurt you, because it's not very aero dependent.
No, yeah. If you look through the field, you look at the 51 of Bradley Wilson, his front end is very, very smashed up, and he's been very consistently up front still, even with that damage. So the only thing that can really hurt you is engine damage or radiator damage if you get it here, which doesn't seem like any of these guys have it, but lights are off on the pace car. It's going to dip into pit lane this time by, and we'll see what these guys can do.
As we're double stacked and ready to roll here for the restart, but the number 5 of Timothy Latham is going to have point. He gets a good start there. I didn't see any tire spin. It looks like he's going to have the preferred line going into 1 and 2. I'm wondering what the 27 of Gabriel Ellison's going to be able to do here on the outside on fresher tires. Looks like a little contact there between the 51 and the 5 on the corner exit.
Ooh, more contact between 00 of Brendan Pearl and Timothy Latham there, but I think just new tires versus old tires, not much you can do there, as we see Clinton Steen moving to the inside of Timothy Latham there. And if you're
Got
Latham
3
right
wide
now,
coming behind them there, and they were able to keep all 3, side by side coming through the corner. Great job of driving by all 3 drivers there. Looked like the 00 and the 43, and looks like the 15. They were able to keep it 3 wide coming through 1 and 2.
Yeah, we saw a little more contact there from Brandon Pearl on the wall, but um, I mean, everybody's pretty comfortable where they are right now. It seems like, and 25 of excuse me, 25 of Landon Lacey has already moved up to I believe the 7th position, so he's on the move.
Yeah, he knows, and he's got to start picking his way through the field as fast as he can because those laps are starting to wind down. And like I said, he didn't take the initial, pit stop there. Everybody else went in, and then he went in. So, you know, he's gonna have to try to capitalize, get all the positions he can. But fortunately for him, there's only like one or two trucks that are side by side here running. Everybody else is pretty much single filed out. As Gabriel Ellison is pulling away a little bit, three-quarters of a second lead right now over the 51 of Bradley Wilson and the 49 of Clinton Snead sitting in third.
Yeah, he's put on a pretty dominant show so far, but Bradley Wilson has been consistently up there too. I wouldn't write him off yet, even with all that damage. He, like we were saying, the arrow really doesn't do much here. So I think that he's definitely still got a shot, as well as Clinton Snead.
Yeah, and Landon Lacey is clicking off pretty good, quick, fast, lap times right now. But he's in the middle of the field, so you know when he gets a little, I think, open air, we'll probably see his lap times kick up a little bit. But the thing, you know, we both, that everybody knows as a driver is you don't want to burn them up either trying to get up there because then when you get up there, getting to them and getting by them is going to be two different stories.
Absolutely. And here at Martinsville, you have the, as we see him move to the outside there, Brandon Pearl. But here at Martinsville, you have the opportunity to use that bumper if you need. But I mean, I would try to race people the way that I want to be raced. And I don't know if you want to use the bumper here in week 5 of Thursday Night Throwdown.
Yeah, and you always hear talk of it. There's a huge difference between a bump and run and a dump and run, and there's a very fine line between that bump and a dump, and especially at a track like Martinsville, where these trucks get so loose, so extremely easy. That little tap can be just enough with that guy's just now getting in the gas to just send him around.
Yeah, definitely. And we see this pack of about 4 cars just kind of clicking off laps, and unfortunately nowhere to go for Landon Lacey because those tires, he's not on fresher tires than everybody else like he used to be, and he's just kind of having to sit and wait this one out, maybe saving a little bit of tire for the ending if he gets there and later on.
Well, and we see Brad Wilson now. He's closing that gap now. He's got it down to about a half second. So he's closing in here on the leader. I'm wondering how hard he's pushing that truck with, 26 to go. Looks like the 13 is slow in the outside lane. I don't know if he's under power or not, and it might be his motor just blew.
Yeah, that's going to bring out our caution. I believe it was the 55 of Mitch Ellison that blew his motor and had to stop on the track. So unfortunate night for him. But if you're Landon Lacey right now, I think that's exactly what you want to see, because you're going to get a chance to regroup everybody and send this one off one more time.
Yeah, and we're going to stack them back up here with a restart, with inside of 25 to go. Your top like 5 or 6 last pitted at lap 109 looks like Clinton Snead is coming in the pits here, as well as Timothy Latham and Alan Bird.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that Clinton Snead came down pit road, but I don't hate the call because we're gonna go green with maybe 20 to go, so that's plenty of time to make your way through the field if you have newer tires. And obviously Timothy Latham had stayed out the last time and needed them fresh Goodyears, but I think that this is shaping up to be a good ending. What do you think?
I think it's shaping up here, especially with, you always have the fear of the unknown here at these tracks. If he pits now and he's got another set of Goodyear tires, and not trying to jinx it, but God forbid another a caution comes out, that could put him in the prime position.
Definitely. I think that's exactly what he wants to see is another caution fly, but that's exactly what Gabriel Ellison does not want to see because he knows that he's got the speed to be out front, and he obviously has showed that he can lead laps. So he's just hoping that he can get a good jump on this restart and keep it ahead of that 51 truck of Bradley Wilson.
Yeah, I don't think your top 5 or 6 want to see that caution flag come out. They're they're now trying to click off the best times they can and gain the positions that they can gain. Especially the 27 of Gabriel Ellison. He doesn't want to see another yellow fly here. As you see the 25 now of Landon Lacey is back up to 5th position after that last start. So he was able to click his way through the field, and depending on how hard he was pushing here, this is going to help him close up that gap a little bit more because it's pulled everybody together again, and he'll be actually on the inside line on the restart.
Yeah, I think that inside line's gonna help him a lot here, and I want to point out that Clinton Sneed, who just pitted from the 3rd position, I believe, is only in 7th place. So he, I think, has a really good shot here. He's on, I believe, about 20 lap newer tires than everybody else. So I mean, that's a pretty sizable difference. It may not show it percentage-wise on the tire wear, but temp-wise, you'll definitely be able to see it.
Yeah, and you've just got to be able to pick your way through the field here. Is the lights are off on the pace car, so we'll be coming to green with roughly 20 laps to go. So this is going to turn out to be looks like it's going to be a good shootout here. For the last 20 laps, as the 27 of Gabriel Ellison brings them through 3 and 4.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how this one ends up. But 21 of, or 27, excuse me, of Gabriel Ellison gets a good jump, and it's exactly what he needed to try and send this one home. And 43 of James Morgan is going to try and get clear. He's going to get clear of Bradley Wilson, it looks like.
Yeah, it looked like Brad had a little trouble on the restart there. Opened the door for the 43, and looks like we got spin. I think I see Clinton Sneed involved. We're still under green right now. See if they can get them going back going again here, and see if it stays under green. As Gabriel Ellison is still leading here. We've got about a half-second lead. As the 43 is James Morgan is pushing it, trying to get up to the front now.
Yeah, and look at the 25 of Landon Lacey. He's already up there, and he's making the move to the inside, trying to get clear of James Morgan for that 2nd position.
It looks like he's going to be able to get that run off there of 1 and 2, and his eyes are all focused on that 27 of Gabriel Ellison in front of him right now.
Absolutely. He is not looking at who's behind him. He's not really worried about it. He's saying, man, we got 16 laps to go. Let's get her done.
Yeah, he's looking at those relative times, seeing if he's closing on the front. If he's not closing at the rate he wants to, he's going to be searching around, trying to find that little bit of extra speed somewhere on the track to close that door. But like we talked about earlier, you don't want to push it too hard because catching them and getting by them is going to be a different story.
Yeah, a little bit of contact we saw off to the side there from Bradley Wilson and James Morgan. Bradley kind of threw a little slide job there, but 1st and 2nd place have pretty much pulled away from 3rd place and everybody else. But I don't know. I think Landon Lacey's got a good shot at this one, but Gabriel Ellison has been pretty dominant out front.
Yeah, he's got the fresh tire, and he's got the fresh air out in front, and he's gonna be able to choose his line. As long as he can keep that bottom lane closed up, he's gonna force the 25 to have to find a way around him here. As you see the 25 of Landon Lacey closing, but still the advantage goes to Gabriel Ellison at this point in the race. We're coming now to about 11 laps to go next time by, and that gap is closing as the rest of the field is pretty much single file all the way throughout.
Yeah, last time, just to give you an idea, the last lap, Gabriel Ellison ran a 20.53 and Landon Lacey ran a 20.51. So 2/100ths of a second is the only difference between those two trucks right now.
Yeah, and now you're looking about a full straightaway ahead of Gabriel Ellison, or three-quarters of straightaway is going to be a lap car. So these closing 10 laps, I'm wondering if those laps cars. It looks like we got a slow truck to the inside here. See if he's able to get it back down towards pit lane and maintain minimum speed here, keep the caution from coming out. But these lap trucks might come into play here.
Yeah, and we saw Gabriel Ellison check up a little bit. He wasn't sure what that lap truck was going to do, I think. And now Landon Lacey has pretty much closed that gap, and he's almost to the bumper and looking to make a move maybe.
And that's the hard thing with being the leader when getting around lap trucks. You've got to be offensively defensive. It's a hard thing to describe, but you've got to be paying attention to what the guy in front of you is doing, and hopefully anticipate the move that he makes. As it looks like the 27 was able to get down to the bottom, get a good little run off there. 25 still closing the gap right now, though. We're coming to, looks like it'll be 7 to go this time by.
Yeah, that was a great move by both trucks to get around that 00, the lap car. And if I'm Landon right now, I'm doing what we were talking about earlier, just trying every line I can, trying to make a crossover, maybe shoot it a little deeper into the corner like he does there, and just figuring out what works and what doesn't, because we got 5 laps to go. It's time to go.
Yeah, and Gabriel is doing a good job of rotating that center, and his breaking point is gonna be Landon Lacey's breaking point right now, because just getting it checked down to get in that corner, you can't carry that much speed, so you don't want to overshoot that corner and slide up out of the groove, trying to take that top side either.
Definitely not. And he's trying everything he can, trying to break as late as possible to get. Look at that, man. Big run coming into the corner, but I don't think it's going to be enough to clear if Gabriel can just hold that line, as we see 25 get a little loose there coming out of the corner. That's going to be tough to make up.
Yeah, it looks like Landon tried that a little bit of a wide angle approach there to get that truck turned down to maybe get that run on the inside coming down the straightaway to get set up, for the inside on that next corner. But that's exactly what Gabriel wanted to see, was him getting a little loose behind him, trying to get to him. Is we're coming to 3 to go. We're at 3 to go right now.
Yeah, definitely. And if I'm Gabriel, I'm not looking at my mirror, not worrying about who's behind me, just clicking off qualifying laps at this point, because he started on pole for this race. He's got the speed, obviously. I think it's his race to lose at this point, as we're at 2 to go.
Yeah, and sitting in third right now is a guy we talked to earlier. Following up the ARCA race is Bradley Wilson. He's able to pull it back up to third right now. As the leaders are still battling, and wondering if the Landon Lacey's going to be able to close that back in as
White flag.
Looks
white
like
flag.
we're going to take the white flag here, and Gabriel Ellison still holding strong out front, about a half a second gap to Landon Lacey behind him, and he's going to go into turn 3 and 4 for the final time.
And here we come out of 3 and 4, and Gabriel Ellison is going to take the checkered here at Martinsville. What a great run. And Landon Lacey gave it everything he had there. Tried to get that setup coming off the corner and just couldn't get it to stick, which is so hard to do, especially with pushing these tires.
Definitely. And so much respect for both of these drivers. They put on a heck of a show for us here. And that was some good short track racing to watch there, but it definitely came down to being patient and just kind of making sure everything went the way that you wanted it to go, and minimizing those mini mistakes in the end.
Yeah, and you saw the field kind of shuffle back and forth, different drivers up front at different points of the race. And, we saw those late green flag runs, and we were curious to see how long it would take that 25 to work his way back up towards the front. And, that caution helped him out there. So I'm excited to talk to these guys after this great run here tonight.
You guys want to take a quick commercial?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with your top 3 interviews.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And we're back. Excited to talk to these guys. Trevor, how about you? That was a great race overall.
Oh man, awesome race from Martinsville. Couple cautions, but not bad at all, and very reminiscent of what we saw earlier in the season with minimal cautions and some great battles.
Well, you ready to pull these guys in, get down there, and start talking to our podium finishers here?
Yeah, let's see if we can't get a hold of Bradley Wilson. Bradley, this is Trevor up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Man, awesome finish. I know you probably had higher hopes coming into Martinsville, but got to be happy to survive. You had a lot of damage there, but just kind of walk me through your race.
I qualified fourth and got taken out lap one, so definitely didn't have the best intent or the best idea of how the race was going to go after getting a minute of optionals right from lap one. So we definitely pushed back with me and my teammates working through the field again to get back up there and get that P3. But we definitely could have been a little better. Just we ran out of set of tires at the end.
Yeah, definitely came down to some tire strategy there, but I mean that was an awesome race from our perspective. You had a lot of damage, but luckily here at Martinsville, that there's not a lot of aero effect on these trucks, so able to squeeze out a top 3 finish there. Looking forward into Atlanta. What are your thoughts there?
I've never done a fixed race at Atlanta, so it should be pretty interesting.
Definitely, I would watch out for the track temps, because it's called Hotlanta for a reason, you know. But anyways, great talking to you, and congratulations on your 3rd place finish. Before we let you go, is there anyone that you want to thank?
I'd like to thank my sponsors, Shenandoah Shine, CGE, White Knuckle Esports, Martin Sports, Wrecked Out Graphics. Go to ShenandoahShine.co. Next week, we got a drop with our collab of Martin Sports. Go to EmpireJerky.com. Use code SHINE for a discount, and thanks to my teammates for helping me get out through the field, and James Morgan for giving me a little insight on brake bias to use.
Awesome. Well, thanks for talking to us, Bradley, and hopefully we talk to you next week.
All right, hoping for it.
That was a good run by Bradley there. As he said, got taken out early and was able to fight back for 3rd place. So great race overall.
Yeah, way to regroup. Get himself back together and keep his focus on the long run here and pull away. Go home with a P3 finish. That's always a great finish here at Martinsville. I'm anxious and I'm ready to talk to Landon Lacey, see how he felt about his run tonight. Hey, Landon, this is Michael and Trevor up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
So, we saw you battling out there towards the end. You had a pit strategy call. You went in. You kind of looked like a little bit later. Did those guys kind of catch you off on that pit stop, and you decided, let me go in and get some fresh tires out on the second lap around, or what happened there?
To be honest with you, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on that y'all probably don't know about. So it was kind of distracting. We had a visitor in our Discord channel that was probably shouldn't have been there, and probably there through the last, probably the middle between lap 75 to lap 125. It was just I couldn't focus on the race. I mean, doesn't really make an excuse for anything, because there at the end I still had the opportunity to win. But yeah, that pit call was just due to not knowing what's going on. Not I didn't even know what lap we were on. So just a bad call on my end.
Well, I don't know if it makes you feel any better, but we've all been in that position. We all race. We've all had that a lot of stuff going on in our head, and things happen. But I will tell you, you made a great run back all the way up to the front, and that was a great battle. Those closing laps there, just got a little loose there, and these trucks are so hard to plant off these corners, especially on a longer run on tires. And I saw you trying to work that little like the wider entry, trying to get that run off. But I mean, to come 11 spots from your starting position, that was a great run. Looking forward to Atlanta. What do you excited about Atlanta coming up, or what's your thoughts in Atlanta?
Yeah, real quick, just to touch up on what you said before. There at the end battling with Gabe, I roasted the right rear off of it, trying to get around everybody to get up to him, and um got up to him, and just I didn't have enough. I was using that same line. I'd used it earlier to get by him, and I just didn't have the lateral grip off the corner to get the run down the straightaway to make a move. But next week to Atlanta, it's kind of like Charlotte. And one at Charlotte, it eats tires probably a little bit more, so you have to take care of your stuff, especially your right front. Um, and we'll just have to see how it goes.
Well, I know it's one position less than you wanted, but it's a good points night for you. It's good momentum moving forward. We're gonna, as always, give you the mic here, give you your shout outs. Thank you. Anything special you want to say to anybody listening? The mic is all yours.
Well, dang, I wanted to mention this first before I even after the first question you said to me, but I forgot all about it. Lap 14 Clinton, got into Clinton, totally on accident. I got in a little deep, locked up the brakes, got into him. So, um, want to sincerely apologize to him. Kind of set him back in the race, and so I apologize to him. But thank you to 55 Motorsports, Timothy Latham, Brandon Browning, Evan Scott, Gabriel Ellison. Even though he races with a different team in here, he's with us on Sunday, so thank you to him. Also, thank you to him and Clinton for putting on the league. Thank you to you guys for broadcasting. It's great to have you guys with us. And basically, thank you to everybody that's gotten me here to this point.
Right, well, it was great talking to you again, Landon. And I'm gonna tell you, as a racer, those just simple apology means a world of difference. And look forward to hopefully talking to you again next week in Atlanta. And based on your run last week in Charlotte, I'm sure we'll be talking to you. So I hope you have a great week. And like I said, look forward to catching you on the track next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, that was a great run, and I think we've all been in those shoes. A lot of stuff going on, and just he's able to rate like we were talking about earlier. He was able to refocus, get his mind where it needed to be, and bring it home. I know one shorter than where he wanted to be, but what do you think of his run overall, Trevor?
Yeah, definitely. Sucks that he had that distraction or whatever was going on. We've all been there though, and like you said, it was a great race for him. Happy to see him come home in second place and continue a strong season. But I want to talk to our winner, Gabriel Ellison, and see what was going on through his head. Hey, Gabe, this is Trevor up in the booth. You got a copy?
Sir.
Man, awesome win tonight. You were pretty dominant out there. I'm curious to see what you were kind of behind Timothy Latham there in the 5 truck for a while. What were you thinking? Were you just saving tires, trying lines, or what was going through your head?
Yeah, well, he hopped the field. I think he got in a wreck, and then he hopped the field because he took two, so he got ahead of me. So I knew I had the left tire advantage on him at least. Um, I was just hanging. I tried to pass him a few times, but he just put it in the right spot. And if you get behind someone that puts the car in the exact perfect spot here, it's really hard to do anything. And he's definitely not slow either by any means. So yeah, we had so much of the race left. I figured I'd make the pass eventually with the new left tires, but ended up. Besides, I knew there'd be more another caution anyways. We still had half the race left at that point, but really, I was just at the end there. I was just worried about Landon catching me because I think he was the fastest car on the track all night. But I just managed to get track position on my tires, and from there it's just covering off the bottom the best I can.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, we were kind of keeping an eye on both of your lap times, and you were both pretty similar. He was maybe a little bit, like a couple hundredths of a second quicker at some points, but you were hanging with him for sure on pace. So awesome race for sure. But uh, looking forward to Atlanta. I mean, you've now in the last couple of weeks finished first, third, and second. Does that momentum kind of help you going into Atlanta?
Yeah, it definitely helps the confidence. I've been able to keep the car clean past 3 races, so I feel that if I keep the car clean, stay out of incidents, I'm able to finish up front. So I like Atlanta. Atlanta's a fun track. That place absolutely murders tires, so that's always fun. And Atlanta's got some multi-groove stuff going on too, so I think we'll see some people on the wall, people on the bottom, and everything in between. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
Definitely, it for sure eats up tires. Well, great race and good talking to you. Before we let you go, is there anybody that you want to thank?
But yeah, I just want to thank Clinton Sneed, me and him putting the league on. Appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for coming out and racing with us. We had really good turnout again here in both series. Thanks to Shenandoah Sean for sponsoring the pole award, and Sneak Competition Design for sponsoring the series. And thanks to you guys for broadcasting the race.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for chatting with us and go celebrate that win for me.
I appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Well, that was. I mean, I kind of figured he was just sitting back behind the number 5 truck, but I was curious to see what was going through his head, and just an awesome race by him, and heck of a lot of momentum going into Atlanta.
Yeah, he executed the finish very well there. He knew Landon was fast. He was able to maintain that preferred line around the bottom and just race his race. It's all about, hitting. He hit his marks, didn't make any mistakes, and was able to capitalize there at the end. So overall, an outstanding race tonight. Very fun to watch. Drivers moving from the front to the back. You saw a little tire strategy play out. You saw some pit strategies that play out. So I'm looking forward to next week at Atlanta. How are you feeling?
Definitely, I think it'll be a good race to watch and an exciting one as the last couple races have been for us. But let's walk through our race results real quick.
Okay, finishing our winner tonight, of course, was Gabriel Ellison. We just talked to him in the interview in the number 27. Finished second was Landon Lacey in the number 25 with another great run for him tonight. Bradley Wilson was able to capitalize for the third position in the number 51. Timothy Latham's going to come home fourth in the number 5. Forrest Bullen, who we saw a little strategy there, get out front there and lead some laps, is going to come home fifth in the number 15. Alan Bird will be coming home sixth in the number 14, and James Morgan, who we saw kind of up towards the front, top 3 for most of the night, will come home seventh in the number 43.
And Clinton Sneed in the 49 will take home 8th, being the last card on the lead lap. Brandon Pearl in the 00 will take home 9th. Joshua Abbey will round out the top 10 in the 05 car. Rodney Griffin will end up in the 11th position in the 97 car. Mitch Ellison takes home 12th. Garrett Delft ended up 13th in the number 13. Jonathan Peel in the number 7 took home 14th. And Jeremy Little in the number 3 truck will end up 15th.
Yeah, and I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to Evolution Racing Network on YouTube. If you will, click that follow button. You'll be notified the next time we go live. So we're here every Thursday night. And next week, with the Thursday Night Thunder, we'll have the ARCA series and the truck series at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll look forward to seeing you guys then.